Hello everybody, Lock Leisure, and I get a comment from a subscriber about what pick do you know to use, and I don't think they generally meant the Covert Companion, but that's what the video was about, was the Covert Companion Pro. So we're just going to kind of go over that shortly and give you an idea about which pick you should use when you're picking locks. And I think the main purpose was which one are you picking for like the actual lock picks and not like bypasses, but we'll go through all of them. So on this profile we have a Covert Companion Pro. We had a short hook, medium hook, and a deep hook, and a gentle reach. Most of your picking is going to be done with a short hook, especially when you're starting out, and if you're using bottom of the keyway tensioning, you're going to be running with a short hook most of the time. Basically it just depends on the lock, and yes, experience does have a lot to do with it. I think somebody said, is it experience? Yes. If you are running like some very small locks like this little Master Lock 141, and you're doing bottom of the keyway, which is awkward for me because I'm used to top of the keyway, you know, a short hook might work, but the best way you can tell is if your tensioner is in the lock, and if you're using like a bottom of the keyway, see if you can fit your pick in there by just putting it in as far down as you can go on the bottom. So I cannot with this type of bottom of the keyway, and I think we can probably take that short in and stick it right like that, right on the edge, and then see if we can sneak that. So we can kind of sneak it in there. A few pins causing us to kind of come up a little bit, but that's okay. It's quite possible. Normally you'd use like a sideways bottom of the keyway hook, tensioner, something like, this is just a windshield wiper blade, but you do something like this so it's not taking up as much real estate as these hybrids, and then you got a lot more room. You can take your pick in, just kind of see if you can sneak by the pins. That first pin I'm having to go underneath, which in this case, if I had to do that, I would probably start with a gentle reach, and then I can get up under here pretty well, because if I'm going to curve it anyway, I might as well just go ahead and use this one and then pick as I go. But as far as Covert Companion goes, the short hook. Now if you're using something like the, if you're picking something like the A-Bus Titanium in your top of the keyway, you can use a medium hook. It's fine. Again, just stick your hook in there with your tensioner, see if you can get past all the pins. If you're getting stuck on the pin and you can't move forward, use a shorter hook. The zooming on this camera sucks ass. Anyway, tensioner in, and as long as you can sneak your hook by all the pins, you're good. If you're getting stuck on the pin, you can't get underneath there because the tensioner's in the way, and it's not giving you enough room between the tensioner and the pins. You need a shorter hook. The best thing I can recommend for new pickers, especially once you start kind of getting your picking down, you need to start using top of the keyway. Because now I'm at top of the keyway, I have all kinds of space I can work with inside of this lock now. Tons of space, tons of space, tons of space. I don't have to worry about anything. And when you're working with like a Ace 527, that's great, but then you'll have to use kind of the bigger side like this, because you don't have enough room around the lock body itself if you use the short one, barely. And then when you got top of the keyway going, there's plenty of room to get underneath the pins like that. So no problems, right in there. Same thing with like Master Lock 19, using top of the keyway, and I can get up underneath all the pins, so I got plenty of room. I could use probably a deeper hook for that. Rakes, same thing. You need to have room to rake, but most of the time when you're raking, you are using bottom of the keyway. And you can use these for bottom of the keyway, they're just not the best. And it puts your hand, at least as far as I've ever done, put your hand in kind of an awkward position. So if I wanted to rake this, I have to kind of do it upside down. And then it's kind of awkward. But same thing, bottom of the keyway if you're raking, top of the keyway if you're picking. I know it's hard to get used to it. And the biggest thing I've said 100 times is when you're doing top of the keyway, that's not more, too big. You're doing top of the keyway like this, you're going to roll out. You're going to put too much tension or not enough, and it's just going to pop out and or pop in, and then it's annoying. But once you get used to it, it's really not that bad. So rakes, this is a quint rake, quad rake. We got a medium hook, short hook, medium hook, deep hook in the profile. Of course, we got our tensioners that come out that we took out for it. And then what do we have on this side? We've got a bypass tool. Also a waste of space in my opinion, because most of the American locks like this one, you'd stick it in with this down to the bottom of the keyway, sneak past all the pins and the keyway itself, and then once you're in there, if it's unshielded, you can pop it open very easily. But this one's shielded, and most of them are shielded now. I could take the shielding off this 527 and do the same thing, but it's just most locks have a shield now. They're not. I even bought a different one earlier, but I'll go into that with a different tool. Waste of space. We have my favorites, which I like and would love to see keep going, and these are Wafer jigglers. They are for wafer locks like this one, cabinet lock, stuff like that. You can tell because there's a little, get this to focus better, there's a little wafer up here, nothing down here. Sometimes they're double-sided, or it may need a key that's double-sided. This one's one-sided, so if you know that, going into it, you would want to use the one-sided wafer jiggler, and then basically you're just going to go in there and scrub and turn at the same time. These cabinet locks and stuff like that, super easy to defeat. Sometimes this one can work. I don't know what you'd call this kind of profile, but they call it an L3. And sometimes that'll work. Yep, oh, it did work. Press them all up. You got to be careful with this one because there are some cam locks that just triggers the very back cam, and this insert will just pop right out. If it's double-sided, one of these. Then we've got a knife tool, which I think was put upside down. I don't know, because normally you want to put a knife in like this. This is one of my very first locks I ever got. Got the Covert Instruments F&G set a long time ago. But you want to put it in like this and sneak past and then pry this little wheel down to get it to go down. But if we do that, this is the whole thing folds. It rests against going this way. So now I feel like it's upside down, and I think it would still work on some of them, but I don't know. But basically, this lock has been busted for a long time. I mean, they're cheap locks. This also works sometimes on master lock, shutter locks, little brass trailer locks that have a little pin that pops out. There's plenty of videos on that. I don't have one. I bought one today. They're all shielded. The new ones are shielded, so you can't bypass most of them anymore. So it's kind of worthless in my opinion to even have it on there. Along with our next contestants, the warded lock picks. Those are for Warded locks like this one. If you see a key like this, it's a warded lock. If you see a keyway like that, it's probably a warded lock. Most of the time it's going to use this top one, the top two, which have two, this out of the way, the shim out of the way. We're getting to you, shim, we're getting to you, calm down, we'll get to you. Probably use these two right here, this one and this one. Basically you're just going to stick it in and turn it the right way, and then you're golden. Right? You're not going to come across warded locks very often. I did see somebody in one of the comments on another video that I commented on and said, well, everybody at work has warded locks for their locker. That's cool. I mean, you can keep it if you want, but I mean, they're cheap. They're like $2. You know, if you're at work, the work will have a pair of bolt cutters. You just cut them off and put a new one on there. I would like to see, instead of the warded locks and the knife tool, hopefully they'll offer an upgrade later, another Reaper, some Reaper profiles in one of these that we can stick in and out, because basically these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tools are pretty much worthless anymore. They'll still work on some of the older stuff, the older American locks and shutter locks and stuff like that. The shim, well, you can shim handcuffs, you can shim a lot of things. You can shim this master lock code box by sticking it in here and then filling a flat spot in the bar as you're turning the numbers. Normally you'll use something like this to turn the numbers as you're doing it. I think it should be on there. That definitely should be on there as a shim. But you also have this notch decoder, which is also a shim, and it's even thinner than that shim, it feels like anyway. And you can do the same thing. You put the notch decoder in there, fill the bars, you turn the numbers. As soon as you feel a flat spot, that's the number. Again, I think we could maybe do without that shim on that side and just keep that notch decoder. Or maybe, I feel like there's enough room for, I don't know how you detach them though. Couldn't we do that there? No? Maybe underneath where that sits? I don't know. I don't engineer. I'm not knocking the Covert Instruments Companion Pro tool. I think it's built very well. I mean, you can tell it's built very well. I like that the picks are in 20 thousandths now. But for a new person picking 20 thousandths, you're likely to bend them. So be careful. And I don't know if they offer replacements yet. We got on this side, we have a Dimple rake. So same thing, you need some kind of tensioner to tension. This is a Berg Wafer dimple lock. You can see the dimples up here, so we would come over here and tension. I don't think this can, I can't rake it. I don't want to say it can't be raked, because you got people like McNally that can freaking rake all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't think could be raked. Again, I don't know how many dimple locks are going to be running around raking. At least in the United States, I'm only speaking for, regionally where I'm at. You're not going to find too many. I'm sure there's some, but yeah. Then we got and hopefully it's Eurolock, by the way. When we're saying we got master warded locks on our buddies' lockers, we shouldn't be picking our buddies' lockers to get locked out. I understand. Be a buddy, help them out. This is a traveler hook, basically, and this is probably a bad way to show you, but if the door and the jamb aren't super tight and you can get this in there and it doesn't have a dead latch or anything, you can bring this into the underneath there and then just pull back, and as you do, it retracts that latch in and you can get past it. And I think the traveler hook should be on there for sure. The Dimple ray, I could do without it, but who am I? I'm not the one designing it. I'm not the one. People's opinions vary, so do mine. They all stink, right? We know the saying. Now I got comb picks. Very nice. I'm kind of I feel like I'd rather have some Reaper profiles on here than comb picks, but they do work, and they are nice. Just depends on the lock. So like you got this Master Lock 141, they almost don't come shielded at all, but you have to index the comb. Every one of these little deals has to have that pin in just right, so you have to kind of index it. You see my deal's not all the way up into the keyway, so I'm not quite indexing it correctly, so I have to pull it back. And there we go. Now I'm all the way up to the keyway and it'll open. But they have started, the 140s can be comb picked as well, but it depends on which 140 you get, where it was made. Some of them can be comb picked, some cannot. If you like that idea of comb picks, Covert Instruments sells these, and they'll even tell you like which ones you can use. There's an asterisk on the 140 because it depends on where it was made. This one cannot be comb picked, but what I like about it is that these comb picks here have a shoulder that stop you at the lock, so you don't even have to worry about indexing anything. You are there. So I'm up, but I can't, it's not turning, so this one cannot be indexed. This one, all the way in like a key, up, over, done. Super simple. I would use this before I use the Covert Instruments, but if that's all I had, no big deal. So I would, if it was me, I would leave those on there. Is this magnetic? I did not know that was magnetic. So the comb picks, yes. Travel hook, yes. Dimple rake, no. The picks that are in there, yes. Bypass, no. Warded locks, no. The shim knife, no. But I'm not making it. I'm not buying it. It is a little magnetized, I think, just from the oh, and the shim, the regular shim. That might be the, no, it's a ball bearing in there. It's holding that. So anyway, this is kind of how I choose a lock pick, or what I'm doing when I'm doing it. Obviously, this thing is very expensive. It's $150. I've said it myself. If you want it and you have disposable income and you think it's cool, get it. I was told a Maki, their little Maki jackknife style, I like it, but unfortunately I can't get it right now. I would like to try it, but you know, it's built very well. Just $150 price tag is a lot, and you can buy a lot of decent picks for $150, but you know, it's up to you. I am a licensed locksmith, and I am a lock sport. I'm a purple belt on Reddit, working on my brown slowly, and I can't justify the $150 for it for anything not in my work, not in my play. I won't play with it in lock sport at all, and I won't use it. I may use it in my locksmith, maybe, but I keep it in my motorcycle just in case if somebody gets I don't know, has a padlock, or they need some, I really don't know what I would do with it, if I'm being completely honest. But you know, if you want it, why not buy it? It is made very well. I just think there should be some better options, or maybe some upgrades we could do, but I don't want to take it apart and put it together. It doesn't, it looks a lot friendlier than the old one. The old one was a big pain in the butt for somebody with big hands like me. So you know, anyway, picking the Master Lock 19, maybe medium hook, depending on if you're doing top of the keyway. You could do bottom of the keyway just as a platform to pick off of for a short hook. Same thing with the ace, but there's so much room in the ace that you do top of the keyway. The 19, which somebody's marred this up, I bought this used and I hadn't even picked it honestly yet, so that's not my doing. But you can do top of the keyway, and 20 thousandths you can get by there, so I've seen people do. I don't know, I haven't tried it yet. 140, top of the keyway, top of the keyway, side of the keyway because it's a Dimple. American lock, always top of the keyway. Actually, you can probably do a bottom of the keyway and pick up on it like a platform. So basically, you're putting your pick in there to avoid this one piece of warding right there. And to get around that, you can just kind of do one of these numbers, especially if you get one that fits right. and then you can use that as leverage to pick off of, and you don't have to worry about trying to pick sideways off that warding there. Ace 527, tons of room, bottom or top of the keyboard, doesn't matter. My evil A bus, I would actually like to send this out to maybe some higher belt pickers and tell me if this is one of those evil ones, because it definitely feels like it to me. Very hard to pick and get open for the belt that's listed under. You can do bottom of the keyway or top, but bottom gets you around some of this warding, so you can just kind of pick from this way. But anyway, that's what all the features are. That's how I go about picking a pick that I would like to look at. I'll just look at the keyway, see if I can get what I can get by it, how I'm going to attack it. Am I going to use top of the keyway, bottom? Most of the time it's top of the keyway. I've said it a million times, it's a pain in the butt, but get used to it. If you just get used to it, you'll like it. But you're going to start out doing one of these numbers where you're falling too far out, too far in, it's coming out, it's a pain in the ass, but you'll get used to it and you'll like it. So if the video helps and you like it, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And if you have any other ideas or you want to know about something that I can help you with, put in the comments. I would love to. A lot of my content is from what I see on Reddit and Discord, LPU. So if somebody asks a question or having a hard time with this or that, I try to make a video to try to help them out. There's tons of other very talented lock pickers out there that have made a million videos doing the same stuff. So I do appreciate the support and the subscribers that I get, as I'm one of the smaller people that just started a channel. So I do appreciate you all, and if you got any ideas, you need help with something, put it in the comments and do my best to give you a hand. Till then, appreciate you. See ya.